Hi, everyone. We'll start in just a moment. Hello, and welcome to the Limitless Health Club. It is July 13th, 2022, and I'm happy you're here. I have so many things I want to talk about today, but I think the first thing that we should do is, I'll tell you why, but this week there's a lot of energy that's going on that is really, really, really affecting people's emotional body. All the empaths and all the healers are being somewhat like energetically attacked this week. And um, the shortest way of saying what's going on is there's a lot of things about the number 21, and today is the 13th day of the 13th month. I can't explain what that means because I know you think it's month number 6, but it's not really. So anyway, there's a lot of energy in the environment. So let's just put our feet on the ground and take a minute or two to just ground in so that we can be focused on ourselves. So we're going to do what it's on the website as a free download called the Body Talk, or Thoughts Become True. So put your feet on the ground, take a couple of deep breaths. You can close your eyes. I will on and off open mine in case someone else is trying to join. And then you're going to repeat after me, and I'll say it slow enough so that you can follow. And most of you should be alone. So if you're not alone, just say it in your mind because it's a little stronger than just saying it out loud. Okay. Body. You are healthy and safe, loved and healed. You easily dissolve any stress, burden, toxin, and excess weight in your path. For this, I am truly grateful. And stay in the zone you just created. Keep your feet on the ground and take a few more exhales. And picture yourself, your entire body inside your shins. And on the download, the free download that's on the website, my website, you can find that statement and a few more. So I'm just going to say a couple more while we're here. Stay in your zone. If there's anybody else in my body, please leave now. If there's anyone else in my field, please leave now. Anything that's in my body or my field that does not serve my highest good, please leave now. Keep breathing out. And then I'm going to pretend I'm at the beach and I'm on the sand, and in the ocean are my parents, and behind them are their parents, and behind them are their parents, and so on and so on and so on. So it's like my entire genealogy is further and further away from me in the ocean, but somewhat within my view. And I'm just going to tell them all that I am doing great and I am happy and healthy and grounded, and that I don't need any of their stress or worries or fears, and to please take them back. Anything that they're holding on to for me, about me, please take your energy back. To all my ancestors on both sides of my family, please and thank you. Please forgive me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A few more exhales. Feeling my feet on the ground. And when you feel really complete, like you've released everything and that you're just you, I keep feeling like I need to exhale a little bit more. So that means I'm not finished yet. Like deep exhales. Almost there. But when I feel like like I released everything, then I'm going to go into now I am statements. Now I am healthy. Now I'm grounded. Now I'm happy. Now I can do whatever it takes to be healthy. Now I'm safe. Now I am grounded again. Now I am head over heels in love with myself. Now I am happy. Now money comes easy and frequently. Now I can do whatever it takes to be healthy. Now I can do whatever it takes to be healthy. Money comes easy and frequently. Now money comes easy and frequently. A few more exhales. And when you yawn, you know for sure that you've cleared plenty. My yawns were both just stuck. So it's still coming out. So stay in the zone that you just created. It's called still point. It's the space where healing happens. And just keep breathing out. And if I was alone right now, I would just stay in this zone a few more minutes because I feel my yawn coming, and never interrupt a yawn by talking. So that's why when I yawn, I will be silent. And I feel it coming out of my shoulder. I feel a little bit in my right foot. I just want to keep releasing. So what I'm going to suggest that we do is some tapping and swiping. So whoever just joined, we just did the body talk statements where the words become true. So now I'm going to have us tap and swipe. And we're doing this today. So start on the top of your head. We're doing this now because we need to breathe out. I do. So that must mean you do. Tapping all around your head. My hat is really soft so I could almost each one of my yawns have gotten bigger and bigger, but has not been complete yet. So that means I'm still clearing. And I just finished doing mud therapy a short while ago. So I'm definitely clearing now. Tap all around the forehead and the eyes. And you're thinking, now I am healthy. Now I deserve to be healthy. The sinuses, in the ears, on the ears, above, behind, under the ears. Now I deserve love. The tapping on the base of the skull and the back of the neck. Any of my ancestral stress or patterns, please leave my body now. Thank you for being there. I don't need you. I'm tapping all around the chest. You can still keep your eyes closed if you want. I'm tapping on the chest, under the chest, between the girls, especially under and between, because those are all part of the heart chakra, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas, the spleen, the stomach. I'm working my way down. And then when I get to, I'm going to do the same parts on the back, but I start to use fists and especially the corner of the hand. because it's a little stronger. I can sometimes do one hand than the other. Sometimes I do both. And breathing out, I might get my upper back a little bit more with my fingers, anywhere I feel like I didn't miss. I want it to be like a picture, like when you were a kid and you have to color inside the lines, everything, like get the whole body. And then I'm going to come back to my front, to the intestine. And if I interrupt my yawn by talking a little, like I almost did there, it gets stuck instantly. So I'm going to the navel, below the navel, to the pubic bone, and I'm sitting. You can sit or stand. I can stand to the pubic bone, to the hips. I definitely want to get the kidneys, the lower back. Breathing out, like really, really release, like you have the heaviest thing inside you want to get out. On your sides. And then we're going to go into the lymph. The front, the middle, the back of the armpits, really breathing out. And you can't see, but I finally had an almost complete yawn. We're going to get this armpit, the front, the middle, the back, especially the back. Most people forget about that part, like the back of the shoulder. Might do this side again. Then I'm going to do the groins because your body's a mirror image. So what's here is here. So I'm going to tap on the groins, breathing out, and then the back of the hips. Still, my yawn is still stuck. I'm trying to get it out. And then we're going to swipe. So we're going to swipe sand off our arm. Just do one arm at first. And I'm going to move my bracelets out of the way so I can really do my wrist, because one little spot on my wrist has been a little bit tight. So I definitely want to make sure to get that. I might even do all my fingers if you have finger issues. So I'm really going to swipe and breathe out and exhale. And then just before you do the other arm, feel the difference between the two. Oh, almost. My yawns are really like millimeter by millimeter getting bigger. Then you can do the other arm, swiping, swiping, swiping. And then when you do this, you're also going, oh, where am I tender? Where does it hurt? I was like, oh, the spot in between my thumb and my pointer on this hand is tender. So I'm going to breathe out, swiping, 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 exhaling, fingers, wrist, fingers, shake a little, big exhale. And then I'm going to start at my low back, right at the top of my pants line. And I'm going to swipe all the way down, front, back, sides of all of my legs. And I'm going to make sure I get the top and the bottom of my feet really thoroughly. Big exhale. And the other side. A little extra on this leg. I have a little bruise. I get hit by a surfboard, so I want to make sure it heals. I don't want anything stagnant. I want to just move the energy front and the back of the leg. And exhale. It's still a little stuck. I can't tell yet where it is, but if you know, sometimes you can just tap it a little bit more. It's pretty deep inside. I don't really have a sense of, is it in the back or the front, but I just did mud therapy not too long ago and finished soaking just a little before the health club meeting. You can see my hair's still a little bit wet. It's definitely why I'm wearing a hat. And so I cleared some things during mud, and then I soaked, and today's been a super, very busy day. I like to soak for 40 minutes to an hour. And when it's later at night, I soak sometimes for an hour and a half, just because I'm so relaxed I can't get out of the bathtub. So I only soaked for about 35 minutes, which is enough to clear things, but clearly, obviously, something else is still trying to clear out of me. So you may notice that I stopped talking at some point because the yawn is going to come out. It will eventually come out. And so the reason why I started that, because a couple of you joined since we started is because there's heavy, heavy, heavy stuff going on the planet, in the universe right now, this week especially. I believe today is a new moon in Capricorn. And actually, I might just like share a couple of things about it that um, somebody sent to me, because I think it's kind of profound. And we're all going through something. We're all going through a lot right now. There's no one that's exempt from going through stuff. And so it's just coming minute after minute. I feel like a broken record. I'm like, this week there's heavy stuff. There's a full moon, a new moon, a solar eclipse. There's always something going on right now. And that is absolutely true. The planets are doing things they've never done before. And we are like at the end of the dominoes. The planets do things and the whole domino chain comes down. And we are like a little speck at the end that feel it. So it's a Capricorn full moon. And I'll read you a couple of things. Every year, the Capricorn full moon invites us to commit more deeply to our calling and dedicate our energy to manifesting. So our calling and manifesting. So if you're not living your true path, like if you don't feel good, you're probably not doing the right job. If you're not feeling like something is right in your life or everything's right, then maybe you're not really on the path that you were destined to have. And manifest what you want. And we can talk about that if you want, if you have any questions about that when I open it up. So this year, the full moon in Capricorn occurs on July 13th. Today, in a 13 universal month. And I'm not going to explain the universal month, but I think that we all know that we've been lied to about almost everything. So there's some stories about how many months there are supposed to be and how many weekdays in the week and stuff like that. So just take it for face value for the minute. And today is raising the magic of transformation and manifesting to a whole nother level. That's what they're saying about today. 13 is the vibration of the divine feminine and indicates many changes are going to be in play over the entire next month until the next full moon. Expect an ebb and flow of shifts and don't judge the shifts, just observe them. Release is a big part of the transformation and rebirth. So resist any urge to judge the ebb and flow as positive or negative, but just observe it and just go with it. And when you need more downtime, take it, and definitely take care of yourself. And of course, we're all supposed to be meditating and grounding every day and staying with ourselves. And that was really why I started today's class out that way. The moon in Capricorn is at 21 degrees, 21 feet is what it looks like, opposite the sun in Cancer at 21, 21. So there's 4 21s, 21, 21, 21, 21. Opposite the sun in Cancer, and it creates a highly fortunate code of truth and joy. It's pretty sure everything I said so far is pretty amazing. So go with it. But as everything else, we're all going through massive transformation. And when we are uncomfortable, it is like dis-ease. So dis-ease. So read all the definitions of every word or all the meanings of every word. If you are uncomfortable, it's because you're going through transformation, and you have to find things that work to keep you grounded and balanced. And then just a little bit more. The next 4 weeks will be intense. So it all sounded amazing, but guess what? It's going to be intense. Old boulders carrying the heavy load of past paradigms are sliding away. So in your own little meditation, you could picture boulders like rolling down a mountain, but like picture them leaving you and rolling away. And that's why I did that thing with the ancestors. As with everything, it happens in the micro and macro level. So just be in acceptance and gratitude of all of it. And let's see. Yeah, there's so much more I could say, but I think that's a good opening to our health club meeting tonight, because you are what you eat, but how we feel and our health is so much bigger than that. I had a radio interview this morning and they asked me, so how important is nutrition and how big of a deal is it? And my answer was, you are what you eat, and nutrition is everything. And you could eat Doritos and go, oh, I feel terrible. So it seems like nutrition and your diet is everything, but it's less than 3% of how you feel. Less than 3%. So look at the pie of 100%. It is what you eat is a sliver. So if you have gluten sensitivity or food allergies, then understand that's why I kind of blow them off a little. It's something we should look at, but it's not the biggest deal. This is everything here. The mind is very tricky. And so staying in joy and gratitude and happiness and calm is a bigger deal than if you're eating the right or wrong food. When you stay in joy and happiness and gratitude, your digestion is better. And of course, going into the food topic, it's really not just about food in terms of your diet and the rest of your body. So I was mudding today, as I said, and the reason we do mud therapy is because we have scars and traumas, little dents in our body over the course of our lifetime that block the ebb and the flow of energy. And so we need to unblock those so the energy can flow everywhere. If you have not yet dipped your toe into mud therapy or unblocking the energy, now is the time. But it can be a big detox. So I did mud therapy on 2 clients on Thursday, and we really didn't do a lot. We only did like a little intro warm-up thing for their body to get the energy flowing through all 4 downloads, the hands and feet. And each one of them did 2 or 3 packs besides that. And they both felt exhausted the next day. So I don't think it's just the amount of mud therapy we did on them. It's really the energy around us. So everything is so much more intense right now. I felt pretty exhausted today. I woke up super early, unlike when I would have usually slept for 3 more hours, but I just couldn't fall back asleep. And I had a really fast, long morning. So I was taking it slow. Today is a little bit more of a me and errand day. But I worked most of it. And then I took the me and the errand time. And I have not left the house yet, even though I have a list of like 8 errands I wanted to do. And I gave myself permission that I'd rather just come back to focusing on feeling 100%, because that's when everything else doesn't matter and is better. So I really want to encourage you that as we go through this next month and this next 3 years at least, and when stuff is really intense, that you really focus on breathing, feeling yourself, staying grounded. And yes, we do lab tests to figure out what's going on. And yes, we do energy testing. And all of that is part of that whole pie of 100%, what makes us feel good. But it's not just about what you eat, even though that is such a big deal. So if somebody comes to me as a new client, the first thing I want to make sure is that they have an energy field, like an aura, or what I call the biofield. It's a scientific term. When they have a biofield, I already know that their body's going to start receiving healing. Yesterday, I had a 19-year-old girl who just graduated high school. Not only did she have no biofield, but she touched every millimeter of her body and there was 0 energy anywhere. And she has a health condition. So the mom came in and said, well, she has this and this, and we want to work on the mitochondria and her digestion and her skin and her this and her that. And like, those are all like paintings on the wall. But the real problem is we needed to give her energy, a biofield, and get her grounded. She felt so excited when I had her think about putting her whole body in her shins and feeling her feet on the ground. And she has on the spectrum of autism and another syndrome, and she functions really well considering those diagnoses. So even just having her think about that, like, calmed her down and regrouped her. So that's really, really, really super important. Then once you have the biofield, we want your detox organs to be working well. But what if you got hit by a baseball and you were little, right in your liver? You're in a baseball game ready to catch, but the ball hit you super hard here. Well, your liver may not have been working well for the past 20 or 50 years. So you have to get that working well. And we use the laser to start changing the energy and helping it heal. And the laser makes you feel instantly better. We still usually need to do mud therapy to really permanently unblock the area. It pulls all the toxins out that have been storing in there for the past 20 to 40 years, however long ago it was. And now we have an ozone machine also here in the clinic. I was talking about it not too long ago in one of these calls. It's actually smaller than a piece of paper. I left it in the other room or I would have brought it in. We put a stethoscope inside your ears and flood your body with ozone. And ozone kills infection and helps your body build more antioxidants. So there's so many different ways to heal. There really is no one method, but you have to make sure you keep your biofield on, work on your detox organs, and unblock your scars. And then when you have all of that working, it is a little bit like an up and a down, an up and a down, and your job is to maintain on a daily basis. And that's what I was talking about with how I was kind of like a little low today, and I was just came back from traveling and had a million and sending my son off to travel. It was really hectic and stressful for a couple of weeks. And so today was my first day to go, okay, so you know what? I'm not going to get any errands done, but I'm going to take care of my physical, mental, and emotional. I meditated, and then I worked a little, and then I did mud therapy, and now I'm here. And I'll make sure to soak more later. I might go to the beach just to sit and breathe fresh air, the ions from the air, and stick my feet in the ocean maybe, or get back in the bath. Because when I am on and I'm 100%, nothing bothers me. Then it doesn't matter what I eat. I can digest anything. I could probably drink a bottle of alcohol and feel fine. I could eat Doritos if I wanted to, and it wouldn't really be a big deal. Of course, if I drank a whole bottle of wine or tequila and ate Doritos, no matter what, I'm not going to feel that great because there's going to be other reactions that happen. But the food itself, I won't have like, oh my gosh, I ate gluten. So it's the other things from the emotional stuff, the tapping and the swiping, and all the other stuff I talked about so far. Okay, so those are the things that are the most important. So I am going to stop giving a monologue and allow you guys to open up with questions. So if you want to raise your hand, if you have a question, I will call on you. Otherwise, I will keep talking a little bit. I did bring with me some amino acids to show, and actually I have them. So when I run nutrition panels on people, I do find that everyone is deficient in amino acids. And actually, let me share my screen for a second. If I can find it, there are so many things open on my desktop. Okay, here we go. So this is a lab test. This is just a sample. And this is the Nutrival. That's the name of it. And so right up here is the name. And I use this lab test as a generic screen. So I do the energy testing for, I mentioned already, we make sure you have a biofield, detox organs working, and then your scars and traumas is what we're focusing on, emotional and physical. But once and we use the energy testing, the O-ring to do all of that in the beginning. Once we get someone over a couple of hurdles, or if they live out of my state and I can't see them on a regular basis, or if there's a reason why they just want to do a test, then I like to order this test. It's a couple $100 at least. I think it might even be almost $4. So that's why I don't require it up front. No matter what, I just want to get you feeling better right away. So if this is a blood draw. There's blood, urine, and if we want to do genetic tests, there's a cheek swab as well. And so if I ordered this lab test for you and you did it today, had your blood drawn today, by the time we get your results back in about 2.5 weeks, if I see you in person and we do the O-ring and we use the laser, by the time we get the results back, they're not really accurate. They're close, but I've already changed your body and your cells, which is why I don't do lab testing right up front. I do it when I want to see a little bit after you're getting better, what else is going on. And I will give this example. There is somebody that I'm working with that says when she came here for the first time, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible and 10 being amazing, she was like a 2. She's barely done any homework. She's just come for sessions and she's always traveling and working. She has super busy lifestyle. She's a grandparent and she runs a huge corporation. So she has kids, grandkids, and work people. And she came in and said, I was like a 2 when I first met you, and now I'm like an 8. And when I ran this test on her, she had all 9s. So like almost the worst you could possibly get, but she felt amazing. So when I ran the test on her, I was like, well, I want you to know there's more things we need to do. And that's when I like to run the lab test. And I like this one because it's a pretty generic screen, and I'm going to scroll through it without going in detail just so you can get an idea of it. On a lot of these lab tests, they give you on the first page like this summary here. And so I like that because we could see really quickly from left to right, in need of antioxidant support. 10 is the worst. 10 is the highest need. And so green is good, yellow, mediocre, just like a traffic light. So this person needs massive antioxidants. Their mitochondria are not working correctly, and they have methylation imbalance. And the saying is methylate or die. So if your body's not methylating, most of your processes in your cells are not going to work. They're really good in their omega balance, as you could see, number 3 in the middle. And then toxic exposure. I lost my little pen for some reason. Their toxic exposure. Oh, there it goes. I feel like a 2-year-old when I do this. I don't know. I did not do well in art class, but I can help cure cancer. So pardon my chicken scratch lines and my handwriting. Their toxic exposure is a little bit high. So just on this first page alone, you don't even really have to read the rest of the test. You go, oh, what else is going on with this person? But then we can, we had to undo my annotations so that I could scroll. I don't know how to scroll, but I wanted you to just see a little bit of the rest of the page. Everyone can see, let's see, spotlight. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now the rest of the test is kind of like red, yellow, green. So we can go into it in detail if anyone ever runs a panel, but I just want you to see this person, all of their antioxidants are like red and yellow, and there's only a couple in green. So this person's under more, they're either not taking in any antioxidants or enough, or they're under so much stress that it doesn't matter if they're taking 20,000 units of vitamin C, it's not enough. And stress can be people, places, things, toxicity, and it can also be poor digestion and the media and the government and, the schools, anything. So then the reason I wanted to show you this is this bottom left-hand corner. And I don't know how to get rid of my chicken scratch right now, but I could try to use it a little bit. Oh, here we go. So this section over here, the amino acids, that's where I was going with this, is that over here, why can't I do a little, let's see, vanishing pen. Okay, this person is really low in histidine. I don't know, my little markers are not working, but here we go. This person, bottom left-hand corner, because my markers are not working well. This person, there's such a delay today. I did just remember they said that we had a power outage in our internet, and that's why I'm on a computer that's hardwired in. I'm sure they're probably trying to find ways to track more things that we're doing, but that's probably what's happening. My internet's probably slow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, actually, one of these arrows we can erase. So this person is deficient in 4 amino acids. Amino acids build muscle, tissue, organs, and glands. And amino acids are also important for hormones and numerous other functions in the body. And, we have a society that's like protein, 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 from your keto to your paleo to, oh my gosh, I'm not going to eat any carbs, but I'm just going to eat protein. Well, it doesn't matter how much protein you're eating. You have to digest it, break it down, and absorb it in order to use it. And so I find that most people all, when I run these panels, are deficient in at least one amino acid. And in this case, there are 4. And so that's what I was going at, is showing you some amino acids in a second. But let me just run you through this screen again, if I could figure out how to do it. One more try. Nope, I don't know how to. One of these days, I'm going to be an expert at scrolling and drawing on this. So it still won't let me scroll. So anyway, I'm going to try one more time if I can figure out how to use. Nope. Yeah, I can't seem to scroll. So anyway, I'm going to come back to taking questions instead of wasting time. But I'm going to stop the screen share for a minute and take questions in a second. But that's why I wanted to just show you. I searched for 3 years to find an amino acid that tests well energetically and tastes good and has no toxic ingredients. So we have a couple here in front of me. This one, they keep changing. They just changed the label and they're going to change it again. So ignore what it actually looks like. This one is an amino acid powder. It's called Perfect Aminos. So this is great for anybody to use, baby up through elderly. This works. And what the research has found is that there's no ceiling on how many amino acids you can use. And that's why bodybuilders take them all day long. Back in the day, I used to take them before I worked out and after, and I threw down all these capsules, but they were not good quality, I can tell you that. So this is the protein, this is the amino acid powder. This, because they found there's no ceiling, they started putting it in other things. So they make bars, but they don't taste good, so we don't have them. They make an electrolyte powder that we need. So I drink this very regularly. There's a lot of amino acids in here. There's a little bit in here, like less than half the amount, but it's also got your electrolytes. And it tastes pretty good. Somebody said it tastes a little tart. I mix this with some of my vitamins and drink it almost every day, regardless of whether I use this amino acid powder or not. And then I posted this the other day on Instagram. This is our newest plant-based vegetarian protein powder. And there is one ingredient. It is called the chocho. Chocho is a fruit that grows in the Andes Mountains at the top of the Andes Mountains in Ecuador. It's the only place apparently that it grows. And when things can grow in extreme heat, extreme cold, and in extreme heights, they already have antioxidants and other properties in them. So I actually found this powder at a music festival that I was at a few months ago. I tasted it, I checked it out. These things just like, I don't know, my radar is like, I was walking to the concerts to the stage, but I got a detour. And the next thing you know, now we carry this in our clinic. And so one ingredient, I think that I've never seen that before. There's nothing else in there. It's just dehydrated of that fruit. And it has, there's no scoop. I've never seen a scooper in it. So I'm just been using a couple and heaping a tablespoon, and they do break down the amino acids and they have a lot. So when I use this, I don't necessarily use my amino acid powder, or haven't, but I've been using the electrolyte. But there is 20 grams of protein and less than 200 calories in a third of a cup. And I think it tastes pretty good. Some of the girls here tried it in different ways, and some of them loved it. Some of them didn't love it as much, but I don't taste it when I mix it with coconut. I do the Julie E smoothie. If you want that recipe, I think it's on our website, but we can put it in your next package. Just coconut water always makes every smoothie so much better. And then you're getting those electrolytes. And as long as you use a good, clean coconut water. And then I put in cacao nibs, chia seeds, goji berries, and like 3 frozen strawberries. Some of the Barleans, strawberry oil, or if it's cycle time or girly time, I use the chocolate mint and oil, and then I put this in there. So I load that thing up and it tastes pretty amazing. And I know I'm digesting it. Anyway, now I'm done talking. I will open it up for questions, but no one has raised their hand. So I was just rambling on. I have no questions still. Anybody? I can keep talking.
Hi, Julie. It's Diane Boyer.
Hi.
Hey there. I always had a question that I keep reading articles on, and being that I'm past menopause or whatever, what do you think of HRT? Is that natural or Do you
Well,
recommend?
hormone replacement therapy in general.
Yes. Yeah.
So here's the thing, a couple of things about it. I keep thinking about wanting to go on my soapbox and telling people I am so tired of people hanging all these fixtures on the wall when they have not done the groundwork. And I think hormone replacement is mostly a picture
Okay.
instead of the groundwork. However, it's useful as a band-aid if you have a lot of work to do. And I know you're working on the groundwork, and I think everyone on the call probably is. So it is absolutely useful. The horse one, I can't think of the name right now, is definitely not usually recommended. We have a I don't know, under market, black market variation of hormone creams. They took them away because the FDA wouldn't allow them, and then they snuck a few back out there. So we
Hmm.
have a handful of one. The only one we have left is just progesterone. But hormone replacement should always be. Here's the thing: everyone needs progesterone. I've run enough lab panels to see that no one is sufficient in progesterone. So you can always use that. There's also a product called Estro that we have, and there's a product called Radiant Woman, Deer Antler, Adaptogen. All of these are, their goal is to bring your hormones into balance. But if you don't know what your estrogen is and you start detoxing from estrogen and then you become too low, that is also a problem. But some people
Okay.
are way, way, way too high. So there's really no, as far as hormones go, I feel the most important thing is to test your hormones through saliva at least every couple of years to get whether you're 13 or 40 or 60, you still should have hormones. And I've run enough panels to see all over the place. Like if your cortisol is supposed to be like this throughout from the beginning of the day over here, you're supposed to like start off high and slowly decline and then a little bit of lift so that when you wake up in the morning, you start to come up. But I've seen people straight across. I've seen people straight at the bottom. I've seen people this way. And so I've just seen it all. And if you're treating stuff to balance it out, you can go by how you feel, but there really, the benefit of being tested is way above and beyond. And all of the other things that I talked about, if you're constipated, if your kidneys aren't working, if your lymph is not flushing, and if you have a lot of traffic jams, those are the reasons why your hormones are the way they are. And the more you do the groundwork, the less hormone replacement you need. But when we do your one-on-one sessions and we test you, we're getting hormone information, but more from more of like a foundation, like, are your ovaries working? Is your uterus working? Are your adrenals working? Your hypothalamus and pituitary and thyroid. So we're kind of starting more foundational to get the organs that are involved in hormones working, and then we fine tune because a lot of people don't like doing lab tests because of the extra cost, because they start to say, well, you can fix everything. That's the side effect of me not running tests up front, is that people get so used to that I could just make them feel better now, that then I have at least like 8 people I could think of right now that like refuse to do a lab test. They've been coming to me for 15 years and they always feel better, but I really have absolutely no idea what their actual hormones are.
Hmm.
They don't care. They just feel better. I like to know. I've probably run, in the last 23 years, I have tested my hormones probably no less than 15 times. And I've seen where I overcompensated and it went too far the other way and I need to bring it back. And now I run menopause panels because you get a different reading and because I'm in my 50s. But I've never had a hot flash. I don't have any symptoms. Um, I have a naturopath client who can order custom hormone creams. So she's done that for myself and maybe one other patient at one time. But so that is possible, and other people can do that based on your tests. But we can't order something unless we know where you're at. And it's
Mhm.
all related to stress. Like stress is the umbrella. When you have stress, you secrete more cholesterol, which makes you secrete more cortisol, which blocks testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone and pregnenolone, which also then block melatonin. So, and then we have the devices blocking melatonin. So that whole hormone thing is all kind of like how I said at the beginning, we're a speck and we're at the end of the dominoes from the planets. The hormones are also like at the end of the domino. They're not usually the cause of the problem. So fixing other things fixes your hormones.
Okay, thank you.
So long-winded answer, but adaptogen is one of the best, most easily useful across the board for anybody. It works on the hypothalamus, which is a gland in the head, the pituitary, also known as the third eye, which is a gland, the adrenals, which are both glands, and the ovaries, the uterus, or if you're a guy, it works on your boy parts. So adaptogen works on all of those. It helps bring them into balance. And what it all comes down to is balance. When you're in balance, you feel better. So you could
Right.
always,
So if you're taking adaptogen, how often do you take it, and how do you know when enough is enough, or when you
well,
feel better?
similar to the amino acids, there's really almost no ceiling on nutrition. I don't think anyone's ever died of eating too many salads. So
Mhm.
you're using good quality products like the ones we have here and that you're taking. If you take too many, so what? You just pee it out. Worst case
Mhm.
scenario, you pee it out. Best case scenario, you need it more and you feel better. So on average, 6 capsules is the in my little test kit, they give me 6 of almost everything. Some have, like vitamin C has 12 or 15, and that's because those are the average amounts that people need. So like 115 to 130 pound woman could easily take 6 and do well. I can tell you right now, with using the laser and all the other treatments that I do with patients, and if your laser is on its way, and if
Mhm.
you use your laser and you start soaking and you're doing tapping and swiping and grounding and all the stuff we did at the beginning of today's call, you're going to need less than Joe Schmo or your friend down the street who just swallows pills and doesn't do the work. So,
Okay.
and then it comes down to every single day is different. So if I give you a prescription and say like probably 4 is what I'm thinking for you. That's the number that like jumps out in my head. And then if I check in energetically, that's what I get. So 4 is your average. And if you're taking, if you're tired, like how I described my morning, and I was a little bit more like, oh, I needed a little more rest today because I didn't sleep long enough, take 6 or 8. There's really no harm. It's
Mhm.
helping. If you overly have to go to the bathroom, like you pee too much, that more adaptogen might help that. If you feel anxious or irritable, more adaptogen might help that too. So you have to really have a good sense of who you are and how you feel at a regular basis and how you like to feel. So I'll always say, like, take a snapshot of like how you feel today when you feel great. And you have to take and do whatever you need until you come back to that place. So I could drink a bottle of tequila. I can't probably, but I could drink enough tequila and have a massive hangover, and things can come out every end in the morning. And by 1 p.m., I can feel pretty close to 100% using tools that we have here. So you have tools, and one of the tools for a hangover is a coffee enema. And then, so I would probably do a coffee enema. I would be hydrating like crazy. I would be using my electrolytes. I wouldn't eat any carbohydrates. I would definitely use my laser. I would take extra adrenal support or adaptogen, because that is adrenal support, or adrenaline. And I would probably be like, oh, like I can have a normal day today. I might go to bed early and I might poop out a little faster than a regular day. But every single day I can get myself back to 100% using the tools. And that's why I teach this class, because you can do
Okay.
that too. And you
Mhm.
need to know how to do that, because the SHIT did not hit the fan yet. I don't know.
Right.
Like I'm told food shortages in August, like we have, I don't know, they already announced mask mandate is coming back in LA, like for the fall. So we're not, the next chapter is coming and
Right.
whatever. So who knows if they block us from flying or seeing each other again or whatever, like you have to have tools and you have to know what to do for yourself,
Right. Yeah.
super important.
But thank
Yes,
you.
so my pleasure. So, this, I'm really eager to keep this Limitless Health Club going. There's only myself and 3 other people on the call today. And like, I just want hundreds of people to be here because you have no idea how many questions I get asked all of the time from everyone I run into and every friend and family member. And, please like tell your friends, encourage them. We give the first month free. Like, I want people to have this information and I'm going to keep going for a while. I'm not going to poop out on this, but I really want to see like 10 people, 20 people, like people need to be able to come here and ask their questions. So I hope that this program grows because to me, I think it's like super valuable. And I know you've said before, Diane, you like coming in, you do one-on-one sessions, you ordered lab tests, and you like asking your questions. And I think that's key to everything, like to feeling normal. We can talk about any millions of topics here. So share the information if you guys can with your friends because this needs to happen. People need the information that we have here. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Question? Nobody else has a question?
I got one. I got my new vitamin D test. I did the finger stick thing, and at the same next day, I went to the doctor just to get some routine blood work.
Okay.
My finger stick was 78, and my blood draw was 68.
So there's a little difference. I mean, vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, so it shouldn't fluctuate that much, but I don't know off the top of my head which one of those types of tests is considered to be better than the other. But
They're usually closer. I've done it before and they're closer, but when I talked to that grassroots, the way she kind of explained it, a year or so ago was, well, the numbers are kind of, it could be anything. Like, if you had that number or 70, it's all kind of the same, sort of. But anyway, so how much should I continue taking? I think I was only taking 4,000, but I was swimming every day. So I was getting a lot of sun, and that afternoon sun, big difference on that vitamin D.
yes. And so I'm going to pause on answering your question for a second and comment on sunscreen because I keep being reminded that everything we were brainwashed with or taught was a lie. And a trusted source that I like sent me an email about how horrible sunscreen is for you because you don't have an indicator light for how much sun you've gotten and how important vitamin D is to get that and your skin makes vitamin D, by the way. So if you're always blocking it, you're not getting any. And so, we need vitamin D. And so I use the coconut oil from Premier, the coconut oil we have here as my sunscreen when I'm just like out and about or in the garden. But if I'm sitting at the beach in the sun, I am using something else. And I still haven't found the perfect one, but I use a mineral one from Sunbum and another one that some surfers use that's tan colored because all the good mineral ones paint you white. But this source was saying that even the mineral ones aren't that good for you, that they're all just like adding a thick layer of toxicity to your body and blocking you from getting sunlight. So I just want to put that out there as a thought for everybody to just, make sure you're not always wearing sunscreen so that you are getting vitamin D. And then figure out what works for your skin because some people are more white and fair and sensitive, but don't completely block yourself and put toxicity all over your body every day for the next 4 months, because that would be bad. So if you're not doing that and you are getting enough sunlight on a regular basis, which is like 3 to 4 days a week, like it's fat soluble, water soluble vitamins we need to replace every single day. Fat soluble, we really only need a couple of times a week. So, probably the amount you're taking or a little bit less would be fine. And then you just vary it. And that's what I'm saying, like how you can judge what's going on in your body on a daily basis. If you're like, whoa, like yesterday, I didn't go outside till 6 p.m. from the second I woke up. Someone's like, how is it by the beach? I'm like, I don't know. So I would have taken vitamin D yesterday. Today I was outside for a couple hours. I might not. But there's no harm if you're staying in that healthy range. I think everyone went vitamin D cuckoo crazy in the last couple of years. I will also tell you that for the first 29 years of my career as a nutritionist, the rule of thumb was do not let anyone take vitamin D. It's toxic. So there's that, and something changed. And what changed? And the only thing that I can wrap my head around is that it's the devices and the towers, because what changed in the last 10 years is like this mega explosion of how many electronics we all have and how many towers are on the planet. And every one of my clients that has all of their devices remediated, when they got their vitamin D test, was too high. So that's my analysis, is that it's the devices and the towers, but we who have all our stuff remediated and have lasers and do all our earthing and soaking, and we're more on the earth and in the earth, and our electrolytes and pH are good, we don't need as much vitamin D as the rest of the planet, as the people that are all having osteoporosis and depleting because their phone is on their bones. So I think if you're taking 2 drops a day, I mean, somewhere in that range is probably enough. And then if you start to have like vitamin D works in the places of high moisture and oxygen in the body. So the lungs, the sinuses, like inside some of the guts and the girly areas where it's more moist. So if you start to have any of those issues, like vitamin D can be an immune booster. I used to give 10 drops a day for kids if they started to get a cough, like in September, October. I would have them do 10 drops a day for like 5 days, and usually they would get over it. So you just have to kind of play around with it a little bit.
Well, these COVID doctors, the smart ones are telling you to get, they really pushed it the last couple of years. They wanted your number up between 80 and 100.
I know. But they don't know what we know. They don't have lasers, and they don't do earthing. They're still medical doctors. They don't have EMF remediation. So, it's always taking it with a grain of salt. They're not working on unblocking their scars. They don't have a biofield. I have been to at least a dozen functional medicine, anti-aging medicine, energy medicine conferences where all these people say that they know about EMF. And I'm like, let me see your phone. And they have no protection on it. All of them. None of them have it. Like, I think I've ever seen like 2 people out of everyone that I've ever asked. And most of the medical doctors never heard of remediation. They just know the phone is bad, but they don't know. So we have it's like if there was a research study where they actually compared people that had remediation on their phone versus didn't, then we would have some data, but they don't do that. It's just not talked about. So I still think that's why we have the Elite Health Club and the Limitless Health Club, and they don't. And my best friend from childhood has osteoporosis, and she's the same age as me. And I'm like, well, you never want help from me. So there you have it. She bought EMF stickers like 5 years ago, and her husband yelled at her for spending money, and she wanted to return them. And I was like, I'm not helping you anymore because it's too stressful for me. And that's just people's mindset, and because they don't see, you put a sticker on your device, they like whatever, but you don't know what it's doing for you, but it's really doing a lot for you. So, that's my answer for you, Diane, because they don't know. So if you're concerned, take more. I mean, if you are pretty good at getting your vitamin D tested every couple of months. So if you want to just play around with doing maybe a little, it's also summer, so a little bit less, and then just have it tested again in another 6 weeks and see where you're at.
I do it every 6 months. This was like a little bit early, but maybe 5 months.
Yeah, but I thought you
that
said
research thing.
That grassroots is not that expensive. So is that right? You can do it more.
I think it's 79 now, something like that.
Well, they're going to raise it because of supply and demand, right?
Yeah, they did. I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, it was 65 for many, many years.
Yeah.
And then they raised it a little bit.
Right. So, I mean, I think you're okay. I don't think that's been your number one issue. And as long as you feel good, if your pH is alkaline, you're probably getting enough D3, because we do want to make sure bones don't get depleted, and you have the Wi-Fi in your house. So, right, you have the spaceship. So you're always get it. You're in a field all the time.
So now I haven't changed any of the adjustments on that thing, right? Just keep
Yeah.
it as it is.
I almost never change mine. Every once in a while, like if you see ants, that's a good sign that your EMF is off. If you see bees, that's a good sign that your EMF is on. Bees are attracted to the good energy, and ants come when your energy field of your home is bad. So those are two indicators where you need to edit it. And every once in a while, like if you just don't feel good and you're not sure what's up, maybe they put a new tower in, because you live kind of in a funky area and a lot closer to Hollywood than I am. And so who knows what they're doing out there. I'm not sure if you were on the call when I said, Spectrum said we have a power outage today. I was like, yeah, whatever. And it was supposed to be on in like a half hour. And they're like, well, it won't be ready for 3 more hours. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing to the internet. I'm sure they're trying to like find ways to spy on us, but or they're putting in more towers. So that's when I would check.
Yeah, they're putting on all the light poles. We're getting all kinds of those 5G thingies all over the place.
Yep. So you can actually go, Dr. Marshall a long time ago had a handful of his staff members go all around the country and go to big places and remediate towers and remediate government buildings. And there's a place here on 190th where there's a whole strip of towers. And when they first put the 5G towers in, I went there and I remediated 4 of them. And therefore you have your neighborhood more remediated. We have rocks and dirt for lack of, it's not major technology, but they just have high energy power, and you put them around the foot of the towers. And I offered it for a while. I would still do it if someone wanted. For $150, I would remediate 2 towers near someone's house in my neighborhood. And someone took me up on it, and we did a tower. We just put a bunch of rocks and dirt, and then we were standing there talking. And at the same time, we both looked at each other and we were both like, oh my God, like I suddenly feel really good. Like it just changed while we were there. Like it went from like harmful to like positive. And having the Wi-Fi or the spaceship in your place, they say it goes about 1/2 to 2 miles. So you should be okay. But when you see them do more towers, that's a good time to turn the dial. And it's the dial when you go, and this is good because I think Maria's getting one in the next couple of days also. So when you turn the dial and you go, like when you feel your heart relax or you sort of have a sigh or an exhale, that's the right setting. Some of the dials you're like nothing, and you may or may not be sensitive enough to notice it, but you'll notice when you breathe out. Like if you take a deep breath, exhale, and then you turn the dial, and just be patient and see if your body feels more calm, that's the right setting.
Is that the dial on the left or the right?
The one on the right. The left one stays at 12 o'clock.
Okay, and the other one just adjusts it. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at it. No. All right.
Yeah. We're out of time. If there's another short question, I will take it. Otherwise, I will say thank you.
Yeah. How often do you replace your stickers?
I only usually replace them when I get a new device. However, with this 5G craziness, sometimes people add an extra sticker just for safety. But it kind of depends on your phone. So the older phone we have here is an 8. There are 2 of these stickers on it. And my newer phone, which is actually almost smaller, but it's the 13 mini, I put the 5G sticker on it right in the middle.
Okay.
And so what I'm finding when I'm testing people now is more and more people need the 5G stickers, where in the beginning it was like here and there someone needed it. And now I think it's because they're overloading everywhere. I was just in Mexico, and they'll have like a tower with like 5G things sticking out of it, like right in the ground. This is it. This is what we're dealing with right now. So you should be okay. But if you start to not feel good, or if you get a million updates on your phone, then maybe we should check it during your personal session.
Mhm.
But my laptop, my Apple MacBook Air, which I bought in 2019, right before the scamdemic, has 4 stickers around the trackpad. And the same computer that I bought, a newer one, for that one is now for the front desk, and then one for me. I have 6 stickers and a 5G on it. That's how many it took to the difference
Wow.
of 2 years of these 2
Mhm.
years.
Mhm.
So we just want to test it till it doesn't take your field off, because you're going to use the thing all the time, and it's going to be right here facing your guts and your female stuff and your liver. And I was at a friend's house, and her husband always complains of stomach aches, and I saw him on his computer. I was like, you don't have any stickers, like, and you're a guy, you work on your computer like 8 hours a day.
Mhm.
And so we hooked him up, and he's better. But that's really what's happening. It's just going to be more and more and more, you know. But you
Mhm.
don't need to replace your stickers as long as they're on the device. You could just add
Okay.
if you need to. And some of them transfer. Sometimes they transfer well to another device. But I think the 5G one will be easy to flip off and put on another device. But the stickers don't usually transfer that well. They start to peel and bend, and
Yeah.
so when they're done, they're done. You get a new device, you build in $35 for your new stickers for your brain.
Mhm. Okay.
All right, ladies. Nice to hear you. I didn't see anyone, so that's why I said here. Have a healthy night. And I think that the recording will be up on the website tomorrow, because we're not super fast at getting it done. And I will have to fill you all in soon. I am now working with a regenerative medicine clinic in Mexico, and that's why I was there. And so they do stem cells and exosomes and telomeres and other things, like way better than we do here. And the reason they brought me on board is because they want me to help them get some people from here to go down there and do super cool, funky anti-aging treatments. So I got a facial while I was there, and they did all this cool stuff, and my skin lifted up like between a half to a quarter inch, like everything got super firm. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Where
that's
at?
neat.
It's in Cabo. So we're gonna add some stuff about them to our website, and I'm their American point person and practitioner. So I'm working with them to help build their program of bringing people down. The stem cell exosome things minimum is like $7,000. The other stuff is less, but that stuff, if anyone needs a shoulder or hip or knee replacement, they can go do that treatment and heal it way better and way more efficiently. Even spine surgery, they do a little surgery, but they will also inject the cells into your spine so that your body can regenerate and heal. And that's the future. And we offer exosomes here like every 4 to 6 months. And I usually just have 3 or 4 people, and we infuse it, but they do it like the Cadillac, like the Mac Daddy. So we can talk about that at another time if you want to ask me about it on the next call.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. My pleasure. Have a
Thank
healthy night.
you.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.